Dressed in black from top to toe, a heavy metal orchestra from Frankfurt in Germany. Rock on, orchestra.
My name's John O'Hara.
And what's your job here?
My job is I play the keyboards, I play accordion, and I'm responsible for conducting the orchestra.
So did you study this conduction thing?
I studied as a percussionist, strangely enough, in a music college in England, and second study piano and conducting.
And would you please point out the way you came to Ian Anderson from there?
Well, Ian was doing a tour of America, and he was looking for a piano player and accordion player. At that time, he didn't know that I worked with orchestras or that I orchestrated for orchestras. So he invited me, I went and met him and did some playing with him, just the two of us, just duetting. And after that he asked me if I'd like to go to America, and I said yes.
And as you heard that you are going to play with Ian Anderson, like this rock meets classic thing,
yeah.
What were your first thoughts?
Really? No, my first thought was, really, I'm going to play with this guy because he's so famous, and he's a flutist, and he's a flutist other than everyone else. I mean, flute is not really the rock instrument. As we are already doing stuff like that, we played with Nina, we played with Robin Gibb, and all kinds of famous people, but he's a flutist, he's doing the same thing as I am. And I listened to the tracks on the internet, and I heard that there's a duet, and I was really hoping that I would play it, and it worked out that way. And I'm playing a solo now with him on stage.
Have you ever tried playing on one leg?
No, and I think it's his thing to do that. And I would stand on my other leg anyway. And he's standing on his right leg, I guess, I think, and I would stand on my left leg.
During the solo?
He or me? No. I stand on both legs.
Both feet on the ground.
Yeah, better.
It's fun. It's fun. You get a chance to see lots of the world and do lots of travelling and touring, which I enjoy. And the band are all very good friends. You know, we've become quite a close-knit group now, and getting the opportunity to work with some first-rate orchestras.
He's part of the group, but he was also very clear with what he wants and rehearses different parts, but is very nice and rehearses with the group rather than dictating, which is good and makes it more interesting to work with him and more relaxed to work.
He's such a nice guy. He's very comforting and just a normal person, and he plays everything by heart. So, and he can't really say I'm playing bar 8 or bar something. He starts playing and then he says just listen, and then you start playing with him, and it's nice. It's easy. It's very easy because he takes you under his arm and just goes ahead. It's fun.
It's fantastic because he's a complete musician, and we are very proud to play with him, and it's very high quality music he performs, and so it's very good for us. It's a good education for the whole orchestra, and I hope Ian had a lot of fun with the orchestra too.
Oh, there's a meeting of two worlds really. There's a meeting of the rock and roll world, which rhythmically we work very hard to make sure that as a band, as a group of 5 musicians, we fit closely and tightly together as a musical unit. When you have an orchestra, which then is maybe 20, 30, 40 players again, they all have their own interpretations of what those rhythms are. And I think my job as a conductor is to try and give them an idea to the importance and to the way we are interpreting those rhythms, so as we can be as one. So that's the biggest challenge, I think, when working with an orchestra, is to rhythmically make them aware that when I go 1, 2, 3, I mean 1, and I don't mean 1, 2, 3, which is often a way in romantic music or in classical music a symphonic composer, a conductor would beat, and an orchestra would all breathe together in this sonorous way. There isn't the time for that in rock and roll.
A lot of the skills you just transfer over, and it's the same good ensemble skills, intonation, so you just transfer the skills, and it's fun. It's good fun. Previously, yes, but with this setup, no. Because the mics are inside the instruments, it's a lot easier for the control of how loud and how quiet each instrument, and also because it's electric drums and not real drums, it means I can sit right next to the drum kit and my ears are still healthy, which is nice, and we can be closer to the band, so you have more contact with the band.
No, at the first rehearsal, it might be that we have many doubts. So very funny, very fucking difficult. Sorry for the word. But I know the orchestra, I know the band, and I was always very sure safe about. Sorry, I don't know what's right. That we come together. The first song we rehearsed was really awful, but after 12 hours on the end of the day, I think we can go with a good feeling in our bed. I think everyone will really be concentrated to all what we have to do, and perhaps there's some little mistakes between over-concentrated, because we are over-concentrated, but I'm really sure about that we give a good performance the whole night, really. Yeah.
Every show was really great. The first one was a bit nervous, but now the shows are really easy, and it's going to be great tonight as well.
I think it will be a fantastic show. We've had some fantastic shows already with lovely, fantastic audience responses, lots and lots of cheering afterwards, and we play an encore.
Ja, das war im Januar 1969. Wir kennen uns und wir arbeiten.
It was in January 1969. Jimi Hendrix, whom we had booked on a tour through Germany, told me about Jethro Tull. He said that in Scandinavia there was this opening act with an incredible flutist and a very original music. So I made Jimmy write down the name of that band, Jethro Tull. Then I took a flight to London and went looking for Jethro Tull. Finally I found their management, and that was the beginning of a long cooperation with tours nearly every year and an equal long friendship.
Und dann begann eine lange Zusammenarbeit und Freundschaft mit nahezu jährlichen Tourneen. Das ist etwas sehr Schönes, vor allen Dingen für meine Ohren, die zwar Heavy Metal tradiert sind, aber trotzdem.
It is something very beautiful, especially for my heavy metal tortured ears, which nevertheless love clear sounds and violence. Of all people, it is Ian Anderson who is foremost right for that crossover between rock and classic, since besides the blues, he especially takes Johann Sebastian Bach into his musical considerations. One of his great musical pieces, which he will perform tonight, is the Bourrée of Johann Sebastian Bach. But he is by no means limited to Bach and likes other composers of the so-called serious music too.
Heute Abend mit Orchester spielen wird, ist ja die Bourrées von Johann Sebastian Bach, aber auch andere Komponisten der sogenannten ernsten Musik. Bei einem Künstler mit Qualität ist gar nichts einfach.
With a quality artist, nothing is easy. I like artists most who are perfectionists and work incredibly hard to improve themselves, but who also have got the hang of their bandmates who realize ideas. Since Ian pushes himself to the limit, he expects about the same from the tour manager. Until now it has worked. But especially I am happy that this is the first tour Ian is doing without me. With my 75 years of age, I allow myself to slow down a bit and make room for AA Entertainment, a young, new company which is managing this tour.
Diese Tournee durchführt. Ja, das beobachten wir bereits, denn ich habe mir in Frankfurt zum Beispiel sehr genau das Publikum.
We can already see that. I have watched the audience in Frankfurt very closely. The success of a band like Jethro Tull or of Ian Anderson as a solo artist depends on approaching more than just one generation. That they are not only giving concerts to their classmates, but their children too. There is one title of Jethro Tull which is typical for what happens here. Too old to rock and roll, too young to die. Of course, this is meant ironical, since rock and roll has been accepted for now 50 years and still continues to bring forth new artists. But most interesting of all of them are the masters, which have given concerts and have recorded albums for many decades. I cannot remember only one concert of Jethro Tull and Ian Anderson which has not been first class. And this is something I cannot say of all the bands in our business.
Von allen Gruppen, die es in unserem Business gibt, behaupten. Es wird etwas, von dem ich annehme, dass wie in
I assume it's going to be something that in Frankfurt and Berlin ended with standing ovations and endless applause. I am especially happy for the young Neue Philharmonie Frankfurt, which I feel are very talented musicians with a strong university classical education. They are young and enthusiastic rock and jazz fans, and they are enthusiastic about Ian Anderson, whom they view as a role model. You can feel the excitement on both sides, which starts to build up during the concert between Ian Anderson and the Frankfurt Philharmonie. And this joy leaps over to the audience too.
Beim Konzert aufkommt und das überträgt sich auf das Publikum.
Preston platform, do your soft shoe shuffle dance. Brush away the cigarette ash that's falling down your pants. And then you sadly wonder, does the nurse treat your old man the way she should? She made you tea, asked for your autograph. What a laugh.